Here I am. covered by your grace, so knowing I'm a sinful man, covered by the blood of the Lamb. Now I found the greatest love of all is mine, since you laid down your life, the greatest sacrifice. covered by the blood of the Lamb. Now I found the greatest love of all is mine. Since you laid down your life, the greatest sacrifice. covered by your grace, so free. Here I am, knowing I'm a sinful man, covered by the blood of the Lamb. Now I found
good for birds. And I like that.
I'm so glad, but I need to say something to you. Hold on a minute. Look at me. You look like you're getting a little younger. What is the secret?
Younger. I am.
or is it because I'm seen you in a long time?
It's a Maroon. It's a Maroon tonic.
Oh, okay.
It's a Maroon tonic.
All right. I know you meant to say the indigenous tonic.
Yes, it's indigenous tonic.
Okay,
we are the world.
Right. Okay.
Wonderful.
We are the world. All right, go now.
Because it's amazing. And it's good to be here in the first place.
Well, let us respond to the Maroon question.
Because what it is that...
all the songs.
Yes. There comes a time when you feel a certain call, when the world must come together as one. That's what we want the Maroon nation to come together. There is a Maroon people who want to help together tonight. Praise keeps on. We can go on. Day by day, very soon will change. We are upon God's faithful family, and truth, love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice to make. We save with all our lives. It's true to make a brighter day. Just you and me.
Yeah.
I love this song.
Ooh, thank you very much. It's very good.
Still you want. So I know that someone cares. And your life must be stronger than free. It's all upon God's faithful family. And we all must live happy. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who made a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a chance to make. We're saving all our lives. It's good to make a brighter day. Just you and me. Let's go. And we still together as one. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a chance to make it. We're saving all our lives. It's good to be a brighter day, just you and me. We are the world. We are the children. We are the children. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let God hear me. There's a chance to make it. We're saving all our lives. It's good to be a brighter day, just you and me. We are the world. We are the world. We are the children. Yes, we are the children. We are the ones to make the brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a chance to make it. We're saving all our lives. It's good to make a brighter day. Saving all our lives. It's good to make a brighter day. Yeah. We are the world. Yes, 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 yes. We are the children. We are the children. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's go. There's a chance to make it. We're saving all our lives. It's good to make a brighter day. Just you and me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give the Lord a mighty hand. We thank you. Our people in the diaspora and around the world, we bring you powerful greetings. Our Maroon village, our native members and families and stuff, we bring you happy greetings. Colonels of the Maroon, Mr. Williams, Colonel Curry, Colonel Rowe, and all the colonels in the past, we bring you greetings. We love you. We believe that God will see the Maroon nation to be a powerful nation in this diaspora that we live in today. Now we we want to go deeper in the Maroon culture. We want also to educate the Maroon village of what is going on. A colonel of the Maroon can be voted by the citizens of the Maroon culture. Yes. You're born there, you live there, you can vote in a colonel there.
Yeah.
The elders can also recognize a colonel or recommend him, but the elder cannot endorse a colonel to be in lead of the Maroon village. Now, once a prime minister has been voted for by the people of Jamaica, he cannot go in office unless he has been endorsed by the Governor General of Jamaica. Very important.
Yes.
So no matter what happened, no matter how many people want to vote for him, he cannot enter in office unless he has been endorsed or enrolled by the Governor General of Jamaica. So once the people of Maroon Town, the native Maroon village, are voting a colonel, he also has to write a manifesto. He also has to write a history of the Maroon culture, bring it to United Nations, yes. Also bring documents that you have been voting by the people of the Maroon culture. For the United Nations group, or men of great power, great standard, to endorse him as the colonel of the Maroon. That's how I know the history goes. So all of these colonels that have been a colonel for years and appointed as colonel for years and have never been endorsed by the United Nations.
Right.
They cannot be appreciated by the Prime Minister.
It's not legitimate.
It's not legit. So the government of Jamaica cannot acknowledge them as a full colonel to take power. So if you're a colonel and you're collecting wages or collecting money to take care of the Maroon village, you're at bridge of the laws of the Maroon, because you must be endorsed by United Nations. Not the government of Jamaica, are the representative of United Nations.
United Nations here in Jamaica. Chief, tell us something about the United Nations. Where did you go many years ago, from 2007? Who did you spoke to? Who did you written to? And what did you bring back to Jamaica? And who endorsed it here in Jamaica? Talk to us.
Actually, all of that took place in Jamaica. The United Nations bodies all over the world, and there's one in Kingston as well, at Lady Musgrave Road. Yes, in 2007 we went there. And as Prophet was saying, is that to have legitimacy and to be legal in terms of profit, if you're going to say you're a chief wood has to be endorsed. Now, the way the world set it up today is that you can't have 100 people appoint you as a chief. That's good, that's your appointment. But the way the world is set up is that the largest and the greatest institution in the world is the United Nations, and the more sophisticated, and they gave them the rights to approve indigenous status.
Yes.
So if you want to be recognized by Mr. Olness per se, or the Jamaican government, you'd have to go to the United Nations. When you go there, the United Nations is going to make two requisitions. You must produce a synopsis of your history and your language.
Very important.
Why? Because all indigenous nations around the world has their history and their language.
Very important.
Now, when you write that and submit it to the United Nations will address you a letter. Now, we went to the United Nations 2005, and let me just make something clear about this name Maroon, because we've been talking to them a compound town about this name Maroon, that it cannot identify a person or it can identify a nation. When you read literatures and it says the Moko Maroons, it's talking about us in Clarendon that lives in Clarendon for millions of years. The Moko Maroons. It's not referring to those in the compound town.
All of these histories, no one have mentioned the Moko Maroons. So we want to bring it to the people, to let them know that you have Maroon in Moko, in Clarendon. Very important.
In actuality, because the history starts in Clarendon, when you read, you will read about those Maroons. But those Maroons are the indigenous people that were there, and they did not call themselves Maroon. Most likely it's the European who call them Maroons.
But they are indigenous people.
Right. So we now figure out that Maroon is not an identity, it is not a noun, it's a verb, and it cannot identify a person or nation. So guess what? A bus, it is a verb. Yes, it's not a noun. So a group of us in Mocha decided now that we are going to change it.
Yes.
Now, take note, in order to change it, we could not go to the colonial government. We couldn't go to Mr. Olney's government.
No.
Because they're ministers employed by the United Kingdom to carry out the United Kingdom's mandate. So this is not an indigenous body.
Yeah.
Take note, you have to go to the United Nations. That's the body that is set up in the world to approve indigenous status.
Very important.
Now,
I want you to repeat that again.
Okay, the United Nations is the body that is set up in the world. And if you want to get legitimacy, or if you want to be approved as indigenous people, you must go there. That is
very important. So the saying, and this is a saying, that Colonel Curry goes to the Prime Minister for permission to do whatever he is doing down there. I am saying to Colonel Curry, this is the way. I'm not saying that he got there. I'm saying that we're hearing that he got there to the Prime Minister to get permission, to get sovereignty, whatever. The Prime Minister of Jamaica cannot give sovereignty to the Maroon nation. You have to go to the United Nations. Very important.
And you know what is important too is to look at is also to look at the contrast.
Yes.
There's a contrast between the colonial state and the indigenous state. Notice, you don't go to the colonial government to get it approved. You have to go to the United Nations, which tells you you're different from the colonial state.
Very important.
There is a difference there. You see, and the approval has to come from the United Nations, not from the colonial government.
So we have go to the United Nations in 2005.
Yes.
We have stated very clear in 2005 that we are the indigenous people.
No, well, firstly, 2005, we had to write. Remember, the United Nations made 2 requisitions.
Yes.
The history and the language, so we had to write that. And
so after we identify who we are, they instruct us to write.
No, after we write the United Nations now, they're going to write you now, you know.
Yes.
They're going to give you the right now so you can go to the government of Jamaica with it.
Yes.
Okay.
So they gave you that right?
Right, well, this is what this is. Okay. Let's look at the document that the United Nations addressed to me here.
I want to read that document.
Yes.
In part.
Yes.
So we have our reader read for it.
This is the documents that United Nations addressed to the chief. So United Nations acknowledge you as a chief of the Maroon culture.
No, as the indigenous nation.
Yes.
Indigenous nation. See,
Chief Ptahanka.
Yes, remember.
And it was also signed, I want you to see it very clear, it was also signed by the representative of the
United
Nations. Very important. Dustin A. Campbell.
Yes. And also, I want you to also highlight the fact that it's stipulated at the very beginning of it, Chief Ptahanka, make sure that is there. If they say Chief Ptahanka is there. And at the very end where you have it there, they endorse my statutory position as chief there as well.
For our listeners out there across the globe, I would like our reader to read that letter. That's a very important letter.
Very
important.
And who signed that letter and give to you?
Yes,
and
well.
who responded to it there in Jamaica? Could we have our reader read?
Okay.
Yes, I just want to look back as before I read, just to prove that the United Nations did recognize Ptahanka Luka Jackson and Chiefess Mayor Netert Oswald Jackson. And just to say that, listen to this, it says, the following provisions have been framed with the cooperation of the United Nations, the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organizations, and the World Health Organizations, as well as the Inter-American Indian Institute at appropriate levels and in their respective fields. that it is proposed to continue this cooperation in promoting and securing the applications of these provisions. That's reading from the first part.
And also, it also addressed to Chief Ptahanka.
I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. So I'm laying the framework.
Yes.
Laying the framework. And having decided upon the adoption of certain proposals with regard to the partial revisions of the Indigenous and Tribal Populations Conventions, 1957, number 107, which is the fourth item on the agenda of the session at the time of the United Nations, having determined that these proposals shall take the form of an international convention revising the Indigenous and the Tribal Populations Convention, adopts this 27th day of June of the year 1989, the following conventions which may be cited as the Indigenous and Tribal Peoples Convention. Just to say that.
We want you to go back to...
So I'm going to read this now.
Yes.
To show you that that's the convention, and we went to the convention, and
we did went to the convention.
No, and we're going to prove that the United Nations is recognizing now by their letter to us. So you'll hear that as those conventions were read, listen to the letter written by so being recognized, we wrote to the Prime Minister of Jamaica at the time, as was outlined, and I'm going to read that letter from the Office of the Prime Minister, and then I'm going to also
this is
read...
the letter from the Office of the Prime Minister?
Yes.
All right, this is the email.
Yes. To recognize, to suggest that we are recognized now by the United Nations.
This Prime Minister is not Mr. Andrew Holness.
No, it's not Mr. Andrew Holness, long before. You want to say something before I read? Or you want me to just read it?
All right. Yes, and we want to stipulate that after the United Nations sent this letter, it was addressed to the Prime Minister of that year, 2007.
Yes.
Which was Ms. Portia Simpson.
Yes.
So now we're having Ms. Rosalie Hamilton, Chief Advisor to the Prime Minister. Now we're sending that particular email that you have in your hand there now. She's arranging the meeting for 2007.
Wonderful. So here the United Nations recognizing now who we are now, what the indigenous persons are in Jamaica. Yes. And that letter came to the government of Jamaica, and the government of Jamaica is now reaching out to Chief Ptahanka and then Chieftess Mayat Network Asud Jackson here. And we use the name Jackson, but we know...
well, it has to be there because it's identification.
Yes, of course. He says, thank you very much for your letter to the Honorable Prime Minister dated March 5th, 2007.
Yes.
And this letter is written by Dr. Rosalie Hamilton, and she's the Chief Advisor to the Prime Minister at the time. And she's now writing from the Office of the Prime Minister saying, we have received a letter from the United Nations. We as the government of Jamaica now need to talk to you now based on the instructions coming from the United Nations.
So the Office of the Prime Minister is saying that they received a letter from United Nations.
Yes.
And now they're acknowledging that, yes, they accept it.
Yes.
She's admitting she received a letter from us.
Good. Oh.
No, she's acknowledging that she received a letter from
us.
Yes, we sent the letter to the Prime Minister now.
Yes.
So she's the Chief Advisor now. She's now arranging a meeting between the indigenous people and the colonial government. Okay. All right, so continue reading what she said about...
and of course, she highlighted her early in the frustration. She says, I have been trying without success to contact you on the number, put the number there, on your letterhead. I would very much like to set up a meeting to discuss your concerns in detail and to ensure that the government fulfills its obligations under the United Nations Declaration of Indigenous People 1959. I just read that to you earlier, what the declaration was. So the government of Jamaica is saying, no, we need to set up an urgent meeting to honor our obligations to you according to the treaty. Kindly contact me at the numbers below, and she gave the numbers there. I very much look forward to meeting you. All the best, Dr. Rosalie Hamilton, writing on behalf of the Prime Minister of Jamaica at the time, the Honorable Portia Simpson Miller, and that was in 2007, Tuesday, April the 3rd, 2007. So she wrote that letter, and that's not the only letter proving that the status now at the United Nations. I'm going to also looked at the convention, and the convention said there's another arm of the United Nations, that's the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, and they're also writing to Chief Ptahanka. And so here's the letter from, this is now coming from the United Nations now to Chief Ptahanka, and that's also in 2007, March 9. Dear Chief Ptahanka, the International Fund for Agriculture Development is inviting indigenous peoples, organizations and communities, and organizations that work with them to apply for grants that fund micro-projects and partnerships to promote the development of indigenous people and their unique cultural identity.
Yes.
So she's saying, no, there are monies from the United Nations now, and you can get into those now. You can access those.
With that, you can see the legitimacy.
Who
does he recognize indigenous people?
So here in Jamaica, the United Nations recognized one chief. Listen to this. Grants ranging from $10,000 to $30,000 US will be awarded applicants for the IFDA's development member states through the Indigenous Peoples Assistance Facility. We are now recognized as a member state of the United Nations. Listen to this again.
Yes.
Grants ranging from $10,000 to $30,000 will be awarded applicants from IFDA's developing member states.
Yes.
Through the Indigenous Peoples Assistance Facility.
That's right.
You can email or fax your applications. You know, it's a long time when you hear the word fax.
Right.
You can email or fax your application. The closing date for application is 20th of April 2007. IFDA will not accept applications after that date. And the email is sent there, and the application should be sent to Ms. Antonella Cordone, Coordinator of Indigenous and Tribal Issues in the Agricultural Fund at the United Nations and in Rome. So this is coming from, literally coming from Rome. This particular person we're going to send that one to. And now, and they list the projects that we can look about, but I'm going to go to the other page to show you.
All right. Yes, and there's something else. Let us also talk a little bit about that meeting, because why? We had two important people from their side of the fence that was in that meeting. We have Mr. Ebanks, which is one of Jamaica's top archaeologists that was in that meeting, as well as Mr. Reed from the University of West Indies that was in that meeting. I want to make that clear because it was in from the country, though they have those two important figures within the confine of that meeting.
And so it outlines many things that can be done with these funds, improve indigenous peoples' access to key decision-making, empowering indigenous peoples to find solutions to challenges and to promote collaboration in the public and private sector. So it tells you all what the United Nations is empowering us to do. And it says the Indigenous Peoples Assistance Facility was previously administered by the World Bank.
By the World Bank.
By the World Bank, yes.
The facility has been transferred by agreement of the IFDA, which will administer in this year, for the first time, a board made up of primarily of indigenous members will work with the IFDA staff to consider the proposals and to make recommendations. Okay. This letter is signed and it's coming from Dunstan A. Campbell, FAO representative in Jamaica for Jamaica, Bahamas, and Belize. So for the region, this is the regional director now from the United Nations who's writing to us. And the letter was, here it says, Chief Ptahanka, Tynos Moore's Foundation of Jamaica in Manchester. So there's no doubt here.
I just want to say something. This gentleman who sits between the prophet and myself right now is the only chief in Jamaica representing indigenous people.
Recognized
by the United Nations. This gentleman here. Now, I want to ask him a question. Where are we in terms of what is taking place in a compound? Is everything okay there? Tell us, just be frank and tell us what is going on there, because what we are reading here, nobody should be appointed colonel in a compound without your endorsement. Talk to us. No, we are coming from the studio of the Power of God Ministries International. The Power. Talk to us about that connection, sir.
I think Prophet would be the one to explain that because I think he's more
No,
vivid. I think he's more vivid with what is taking place there right now. But let me just make it clear that I was there in 2012 in a compound town in the time of Mr. Petty with them. And we explain all of what we have here, explain everything to them. But I feel they were a little bit stubborn to comply. So I don't know what is really happening there now. I'm actually hearing second-hand information, and Prophet has been informing me.
We have to understand that we...
But the reason why, as you said earlier, is that Mr. Olness, them understand the world in a way, and when you get up to say you are a chief of their compound town, he already know that it's the United Nations you have to go. He already know that. So him trying to impress the Prime Minister is just not good enough. You have to go to the United Nations to be recognized. And I think that is what's creating the problem. The other thing I think is creating the problem is that they're saying they are our state. And I spoke to them in regards to that. No, we don't belong to the state. We don't have any state. The state belongs to them. We are an indigenous nation. We're not a state. We've been around before the state, so we can't be the state.
Yes.
So hold on a minute. I'm going to allow you. Hold on. Mr. Olness is right there. He's correct. No. He's correct with that. If you sit down and look, they developed the state, and you come with a state in a state. It's very offensive.
Yes.
He was born there.
Well, I've been into Mr. Petty, governor down there, and many other Colonel Williams, Colonel Rowe, my family, all of them I've been down there with, but they have not been properly endorsed by the United Nations to get the right hand of fellowship, I would say, in the church. That's the problem. If they were endorsed by the United Nations, then they would have to be accepted by the governor of Jamaica.
Well, that is why they are not accepted. You're saying if they had gone there, they would have been accepted by Mr. Holness.
They would be accepted by Mr. Holness.
Yeah, I think so.
Very important. Mr. Holness is a very smart Prime Minister, very wise, very powerful man, and he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yes.
So if Mr. Holness wants to correct them down there or instruct them down there, they have to take instruction.
Yes, but I think that if Mr. Holness is going to make that approach, you see, if they have it as a state, we don't need force to make the correction.
Because you cannot have a state into a state.
Yeah, but we don't need the force to make the correction. What we need to do, instead of going with the GPJ, gun police, or jail, you need to rehabilitate people. Get some people with books, go in there, sit down, and explain to them. We are the founder of the state. You are a cultural group. There's a difference, and if you keep doing that, there's going to be a conflict.
If you go to before you go further, if you go to the hospital to find the mad area, the mad people, you cannot enter where the mad people is unless you inject them, because they are mad. So you cannot tell Mr. Holness to send people down there with books because you have dangerous men. Yeah. You know that. Angry, cross, miserable.
Yeah, but there's a different approach. If you see somebody approach your land with guns, it's quite different if you see them coming with books in their hands. You figure it's something different. So if you approach with guns, we're seeing violence. If you come down there in a dictator
I'm around Mr. Shaw for a very long time. And Mr. Shaw fixed up a lot of roads. People could drive properly, wonderful. Yeah. Spend even his own money in the community. And he was driving through with me. And he stopped a lady and said, it's election time, remember to vote for me. The lady said, not because you fix the road can't eat. And the man do all he can. She said, look man, I have money we want and food, road can't eat. So you have to know how to approach these type of people. Very important.
Well, in an ignorant way, you see, once you find people are ignorant.
Well, once you find people are ignorant, it's important to
the storm come,
of course, you
and
have
the
to get
next
them to
storm
understand.
come, dangerous than the storm that come before. People house devastated. No roof. People don't have nowhere to live. The government got down there with help. The help free. The chief said, he don't mind take the help, but don't send your army down here.
What do you have to say about it?
What you have to say about it?
Well,
Then who gonna fix the roof free?
Well, then,
If you get some men down there, they're gonna charge the people
but why?
to put on the roof.
But why do we have to send the army?
Because they're
could be
here,
frightening.
they're
It could
here
be
to
frightening and
support the country.
Yeah.
That's
But-
their job.
but that
The
could be frightening and-
taxpayer pay the army and the police officers to protect and to serve. Not just to protect, but to serve, nail up some zinc, clean up the avenue, fix up the place. Not just to protect, but to serve.
Well, I don't
That's
know.
their job.
Well, I don't know why you would make a decision like that. But obviously, what I'm saying though, is that if you see the army coming, it's threatening and it's frightening. And I don't think you should use the army in that
Can I
case.
use myself as an example?
We could send, hold on, we could send carpenters, we could send people to get it done.
That
Hold
is
on a minute.
true. I
But
love
then,
that.
If you send
I love your
if you send the army now, I have to think about the army coming on my land. See?
Look,
so even the approach has to, we have to have intelligence even in the approach. If you have
I-
Ignorance set of people, we have to use intelligence to reach them.
Look at this.
you see, you can't frighten them.
Look at this.
See, and that is frightening.
I'm going to put you into a spot where you're going to jump like a horse. Look at this. I am the chief of the Maroon town. I ordained by the people and also endorsed by the United Nations. That means my job is to serve and to protect. I put infrastructure together. That means if storm, rain come, whatever come, earthquake come, I have infrastructure to fix and to serve my people. Mr. Colonel Curry didn't put that in place.
Nobody said it's not there, so.
And because he didn't put that in place, Mr. Holness saw the open doors to go into the people. If Colonel Curry have the infrastructure in place, he have helicopter down there, he have fighter jet down there, he have his army down there, he have his police thing down there, Mr. Holness will send his police.
Yes.
I cannot run a church without bodyguards. I have 25 bodyguards to protect me. I don't need the police. So if I am a colonel of the Maroon town, I would have 3,000 police down there. Mr. Holness don't need to send police. Then Mr. Curry need to put his security guards in place.
No, but he said it's not there.
That's why Mr. Holness have going.
You never talk to, you don't listen to the way Curry talk. You think Curry head is there?
That's why we're going.
It's far away from that.
So tell me
If you have a nation of people, you got the first thing is you got to learn to protect your
The
nation.
first thing, if you
And you have to
invite,
make sure
if
provisions
you,
are there for
once
that.
you are a colonel and you're in line with the law, you start to train your young men and women to be scout, cadet. You swear them in. Swear them in as special district constable. That means they have power to serve and to protect.
Yes.
I want to ask a question.
It's very important.
Let me ask you a question. Today is a very important day
Yes.
in a
It's
compound.
a new day.
Huh? Today is the 22nd
Yes.
of May. Something took place today
Yes.
in a compound. Is it authentic? What is
It
your
is-
thought? Going to
it
ask
is
the both of you.
authentic.
Is it authentic?
It is authentic. We are releasing the documents that they need. Plus, we are releasing Cyrus, this bookwork coming from
I forgot we have a fourth
None
person
of the
here.
Maroon culture,
He's
the
here.
power of Cyrus.
He's here. Cyrus is here. And
I'm not aware of it. What is happening within their compound town?
The place is in shambles.
Oh, I see.
Officially date for election of the colonel.
Does that make sense?
Well, he was nominated. So today must be the day that he now swearing.
Are we talking about Curry?
Correct, yes.
Curry was appointed today.
So I thought you would be in Maroon town. Why are you here?
Is there a ceremony planned? I don't know.
You must tell us, is there a
Don't you see I'm surprised?
But you're the one who's just swearing me.
Don't you see I'm surprised?
You're the only chief that endorsed by the
But
The only chief that endorsed by the United Nations. So you're the one who should swear him in?
no, let me make sure I'm understanding what you're saying.
You're saying I should have been there to endorse him.
Yes, because you're the only chief that
I'm
recognized.
the Colonel.
My brothers and sisters, I hope
Can't do
you're
that.
learning.
I can't do that.
Hope you're learning tonight at this special conversation at the Power of God.
Now, I want to.
I don't think that election has any legitimacy.
I
and
want,
don't
I
think it
want,
has any
I
value.
want to give Colonel Curry a little sigh of relief. I don't want him to get strokes. So I want to turn to our manifesto, to section 10 of the indigenous people.
Title 169.
Yes,
Article 10.
Article 10. I want to give him a sigh of relief.
This don't even apply to him because he's doing indigenous.
And this don't even apply to him because he is not indigenous.
I'll read it up the
But
document.
still, we're gonna show him how protected he is.
What a conversation.
Yes.
Stick and stay. We're right there.
So here,
I think Chief should make a declaration first
yes,
before we protect Mr. Curry.
yes.
No.
Because we need him to be protected.
No, let me just make a thing clear that the letter from the United Nations gives me authority. See? Now, this is how it works. If I get up and say the people in a compound town are not indigenous, the United Nations, being I'm recognized by them, is going to have you down as non-indigenous. If I say the people in a compound town are indigenous, they're going to record it as being indigenous.
Because you're the only
So,
chief that
that
recognized
is correct.
by the
So-
United Nations.
So listen what I'm going to do today now.
Yes.
In calling on the United Nations to get involved in this, because
Very
I'm
important.
making a declaration. I am not
Very
saying,
important.
I am not saying that all the people in a compound town is indigenous now.
Yes.
What I'm saying is there are indigenous families residing
Living
within
there.
the confine of a
Include
compound town.
me.
Include.
Okay.
Well, indigenous
Yes.
families. All right. So what I'm saying now is that as long as indigenous people are living in that area, the colonial government now have a distance away from it.
Very important.
Now that I am making the declaration, Mr. Ollis, I'm aware that if I make a declaration today and say that there are people who are indigenous and residing within the confine of a compound town, he knows he's not allowed to go down there.
I
No, he
cannot say
No,
nothing.
let me just make a thing clear. The people
I want
within-
you to make sure, Mr.
And hold
Holness, Mr. Holness is very honorable to me.
Yes, I know, but that is the law.
I
That-
pray
that
for
is
him
how-
every night.
But that is how, no, but that's how it works though.
Okay.
As long as two families are residing there, there's a distance with the colonial government from that community. And
So as long as the indigenous people reside there,
that is correct.
it is
indigenous.
It is indigenous.
Yes.
So
And
the
when we
Prime
say-
Minister don't allow to go
No,
there
the
unless
colonial
he were
He's
invited.
invited, that is correct.
I cannot say
That
nothing.
is correct. Now, when we say the word a compound in the first place, that alone should tell you it's an indigenous atmosphere.
Yes.
It is not saying Mr. Olnestone now, you know, it is saying a
So
compound.
the opposition leader, which is Mark Golin, very good man also, he allowed to be there unless he invited.
All the colonial, any part of the colonial government is not allowing them
allowed.
unless they're invited.
I cannot say nothing.
And plus, the people within a compound town, which is an indigenous atmosphere, would be under my jurisdiction as
Yes.
a recognized chief.
Yes.
Not under the jurisdiction of the Jamaican government. They would be under my jurisdiction.
Yes.
Because it is an indigenous atmosphere.
And from 2007 until now, you're the only recognized chief.
Well, there's only one indigenous nation in a country.
Yes.
You can have many chiefs that pertain to the same nation.
Yes,
But they're all linked as one, in one harmony with one nation.
one chief.
So this is why I am the only chief in Jamaica right now, the only chief for the indigenous people.
Chief
and we want to
Ptahanka.
make a declaration that
Yes.
if there are, my family members are residing in Portland, they went up there 1658.
Yes.
That's how they got up there. And those in
1658.
that is correct.
Where
That's
was
when
at
Nanny
that
and
time?
all them went there.
In 1658, where were we at the time?
There's no slave. The slave was here. The master.
I was somewhere in the shadows of life.
So that's how it is.
Yes, I think in coming down to closure, I want
No,
to
this is very important.
Yes.
Now, Chief are saying, because this is in the manifesto, also in the laws that we have, that once indigenous people live there, the government of Jamaica, that's what you're saying, not supposed to go there to try to instruct them or try to fight against them unless they are instructed to or they're invited to be there.
The big question is, Prophet, does indigenous people live in a compound? What do you
A
find?
lot of them.
No, what I'm saying, just make it clear, because 2012, I was speaking to
I say in 2012, I was speaking to a number of indigenous family on that compound.
Live down
Now,
there. Yes.
what I realize is there are a lot of people move in that community
Yes.
as well. But it doesn't really matter because we can have visitors on our land.
Yes.
But the point of the matter is that they are indigenous family, which you would say now is my family who residing
Live
there.
down there.
So as long as they're living there and residing there, the colonial government has a distance away from it.
Some years ago, 2 years ago, I went with Prophet, and I found a nice lady, beautiful lady, and I decided to marry to her. Would I become an indigenous person?
Well, yes.
That's
yes,
why he don't. He
yes,
want to go
yes,
back down there.
Yes.
That's
you
why
become
he
indigenous,
want to go back
yes,
down there.
that's right.
I like down there.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
it happens like that. You know, that is all.
So, is those indigenous people can go in the colonial land if they're not invited?
Yes, it gives you the right to participate in everything they do.
Oh,
It gives you the right in here to
It's here.
participate, yes, to participate in what they do, but your law always stands. Your
so
right.
you're making a declaration right now that indigenous people live in Maroon Town.
Yes, they live in a compound town. The indigenous people living there.
So
And I
when
just-
the Prime Minister of Jamaica is entering down there, he must ask permission. That's what you say?
Well, put it this
I just
way.
want to know because
Listen to me good. Listen to me good. Mr. Oles and the Jamaican government know of my presence here.
yes,
They already have a document in their possession, so they know I'm here. You
Yes.
see my driver's license with my headpiece and my national, with my language, they know I'm here. So if you know that, and you're dealing with an indigenous atmosphere, the person to be consulted is who?
is it chief?
Chief, you have to go to that chief to find out if there's any indigenous people residing in that area. Because if there's a group of people say they're indigenous and the United Nations is listening to you and they hear me get up and say, no, they're not indigenous. The United Nations goes, you're not indigenous.
Yes,
If I say they are indigenous, the United Nations see them as indigenous.
Yes.
So if the government start to oppose them, the United Nations will come in the mix.
because
United
you're the voice of the
Exactly.
people
I am a
to United
recognized
Nations.
voice.
You're a recognized voice to
Yes.
yes.
If I am an indigenous people live in a compound,
Yeah.
and I want to follow the law in a compound, can the colonial government put me in prison?
No, the colonial government have no jurisdiction over an indigenous individual. None at all. Him can't even tell you what to do. It'd be kind of weird that Mr. Onis cannot tell me as a chief what to do. You see what I'm saying?
Let us
to
see
you?
what is in the.
At
There is-
at the
there is
same
an
time-
article-
At the same time, I have the right, if they're passing a bill and it's going to affect my nation of people, their development, their livelihood, I have a right to stand up to the government and say I'm vetoing that because it's affecting.
So the indigenous people have a seat in parliament.
Of course.
Rastafari.
No, we have a seat in parliament. Not a place, we have a seat in there. If they're passing bill, we can go in there and sit down and say, no. We have that power, we have that right.
Wow. So something is missing. Something is missing.
Well, this is what missing when you don't have
Well,
a
let me
history.
hear what he said.
You don't have a history. Listen, the key is a history. You don't have a history.
Yes.
From you don't have a history, you don't have anything.
So the Maroon chief or the Maroon colonel must go to parliament because there's a seat up there for him. That's what you're saying.
the Maroon, you mean the indigenous
The
people?
indigenous people.
Oh,
Not the Maroon.
not the Maroons.
The one that lead the indigenous people,
yes, the
which
one
is the
that
chief.
The one that is recognized.
That one recognized by the
United
United Nations
Nation.
have a seat in
a
parliament.
seat in parliament, yes.
I want to just
I will have to
read something here,
read, yes.
and I'm reading from Article 8 to Article 10.
Article 8,
To 10.
read from.
I'm going to read from 8 to 10 because
It's from
it does
8 to
speak
10.
about us
Yes.
interacting with the laws of the land and what
Let me read about the laws of the
what
land.
the United Nations says.
Yes.
So the UN says,
And this is coming from UN, United
yeah,
Nations.
this is the United Nations. That's the authority. It says government shall take measures in cooperation with the peoples concerned to protect and preserve the environment of the territories they inhabit.
Very important.
So the United Nations is saying to the state government that you must protect the environment and the territory and the integrity of the Maroon. I'm using the term loosely.
Yes.
That's the obligation. That's right.
So in Article 8 it says, in applying national laws and regulations to the people's concerned,
Yes.
due regard shall be had to their customs and customary laws.
That's right.
So the national courts have some
Yes.
weight, but it says in any decision, or any way the law interact, due regard must take into concern the customs and the customary laws of the indigenous people.
Yes, of course.
These people shall have the right to retain their own customs,
Right.
institutions,
Right.
where these are not incompatible with the fundamental rights defined by the national legal system.
That's right.
So I guess a Maroon can just walk down into Africa and kill somebody and say, boy, I'm a Maroon, so I can just murder you. You know, because that would be incompatible with.
Yes.
Yes.
In other words, if that happens, then I'm just assuming, not a lawyer, but I'm thinking that's what it means. It says that these people shall have the right to retain their own customs and institutions where these are not incompatible
Right.
with the fundamental rights defined by the national legal system and with internationally recognized human rights.
So we do it our way. How we see
Yes.
it is how we do it. We don't have to do it like how they do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Procedures shall be established whenever necessary to resolve conflicts which may arise in the application of this principle.
Yes.
Now, 3 says the application of paragraphs 1 and 2 of this article shall not prevent members of these peoples from exercising the rights granted to all citizens and from assuming their corresponding duties. So it doesn't mean that you're excluded from the rest of the rights in Jamaica. You have all the rights, same way under that. Article 9 says, to the extent compatible with the national legal system and internationally recognized human rights, the methods customarily practiced by the peoples concerned for dealing with offenses committed by their members shall be respected.
Yes, of course.
I'll read it again. It says, to the extent compatible.
Yes.
So it does have a caveat in there. To the extent compatible with the national legal system
Right.
and internationally recognized human rights.
Yes.
The methods customarily practiced by the peoples concerned for dealing with offenses committed by their members shall be respected.
Yes.
The customs of these people in regard to the penal matters, which is going to prison or jail, which regards the penal matter, shall be taken into consideration by the authorities and courts dealing with such cases. So it says that the penal system must consider the customs of the indigenous people when they interact with the court.
Yes.
Whatever decision we make to carry punishment, they don't business with it.
No.
Right. So it says the customs of these peoples in regard to the penal matter shall be taken into consideration by the authorities and the courts dealing with such cases.
Yes.
So a judge has to take that into consideration, but you're still in front of a judge. In Article 10, though, it says, in imposing penalties laid down by...
Imposing penalties laid down
General law.
by general law, a member of these people account shall be taken of their own social
and cultural characteristics.
And
it says in 2, it says, preference shall be given to method of punishment
shall be given to people who are punishment.
other than confinement in prison.
Right.
Here it says,
That
We
means,
determine our own punishment.
yes.
it says no. When it comes on to penal matters, are the courts.
So the government of Jamaica can take someone up there who is indigenous and lock them up like that.
Ah.
No. The laws of the indigenous people, which is a chief, will have to decide that.
So it says though, it says that preference,
This will help Mr. Curry.
yes, So this can help, Mr. Curry. It says, preference shall be given to methods of punishment other than confinement in prison.
So I will repeat again, because we want to balance. Well, Chief, I want this to go out there. The government of Jamaica cannot just go in Maroon Town and take up an indigenous person and lock them up in their prison. No. It's written in this law by the United Nations that preference must be taken. They must be punished by their own preference. That means you, the chief, decided.
Like somebody violated something, it would come to me as a chief, and I would give
And I have nothing to do with this. This is just the law that I'm reading. So all the viewers out there, remember, I am just seeing the law. I am reading it. I have nothing to do with it. My law of the Bible is different from this law.
This is so much that I am saying as the reader. I'm saying that
But this is important.
We need several more programs.
This is the reality that is around us.
We need several more programs to go through this panel.
So we need several.
This is a lot.
But what we're saying, who are those people in the sovereign nation? We need to identify the indigenous people.
Okay, well, all right. That's down the line still. The fact we want them to.
And how can you be indigenous?
Hold on. The point that we're trying to make right now is that there are indigenous people residing there. We're not getting into the families where they are.
Yes.
And how many in the family, and we already know that, right?
Yes.
We already know that. So what we're trying to establish now, so that the government knows that indigenous people are residing in the confine of a compound town. Though he may look and see behavior that is relating to outside world, he needs now to know. Because he can't know this.
To
so
move,
we know this,
to move with caution.
he can't know if there is indigenous people in a compound. He can only hear that from me now.
Yes.
That there are indigenous people.
So you're making a declaration tonight
right,
to say
So
there
we
are
want
indigenous
government now
people.
to know that there are indigenous people residing on that turf.
Yes.
So now it leaves us now to think as to whether Curry is my cousin or Curry is related to me. So now as a recognized chief, I am putting it down that Mr. Onis understand now
Yes.
that there are indigenous people residing there and he has a distance from that community.
So if he's going to a compound, he must be invited
Yes, and can,
by indigenous people.
exactly right. That's how it is around the
You're
world.
saying should be invited by Curry. Curry should invite.
Well, remember,
Curry's not recognized.
I am the assistant of the chief.
Yes. Okay.
So my application for Mr. Holiness, he can go.
No, but hold on. You see, we can't allow strangers to come into our community.
I wouldn't say he's a stranger.
No, he is a stranger.
Remember, he's my prime
No,
minister.
hold on. The colonial state is a stranger to indigenous community. Why? If you do a study around the world, you'll find out the last occurrence I heard was 200 indigenous children buried in a school in British Columbia.
Yes.
So they've been trying to wipe out indigenous people right around the world.
More
so
than-
we have to make sure
more than-
who is coming within the confines
More
of our
than
community.
$12 million have spent down there just in few months just to help the Mr. Holiness building roof, building houses for the people
Yeah,
down there.
but
A man like that cannot be a stranger.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that the people that are within there are indigenous. Remember, you don't know that. Mr.
You
Oles don't know that.
Yes.
Mr. Oles is now learning something new.
Yes.
You see? And what he's also understanding is as long as the United Nations say, I am the chief of the indigenous people, he's out of it. He has no jurisdiction over those people at all. So we want to make a compound free. We want him to know that what is taking place.
So who have power over the colonel? Who instruct him?
I don't know who's instructing that.
That's the problem we have. Because the government is, the prime minister is instructed by the governor of Jamaica. The governor of Jamaica is instructed by the United Nations. The United Nations is instructed by shadows of power. Who instruct colonel? Him just loose like that?
All right. You see, that is the current.
So something's wrong
Let's
there.
talk about
Something.
you know who is responsible now for the indigenous people as of today now? Who is responsible for the indigenous people now?
The chief.
Is me responsible for them?
The chief.
I am not responsible for the people down there that are not indigenous.
Yes.
That is my point.
So your job is to assign me, which is, I have assigned already, to find the indigenous people and make sure they're safe.
All right. Well, we know a number, but we still have to look around because there could be more families down there.
Yes.
So we have a job to do in terms of where that is concerned, that Mr. Olis now knows.
So I need to improve my bodyguards.
That the Abishag family and the Bezalel family and the Nebiju family are the indigenous people within the compound town. He has to know that.
So we need to improve our bodyguards from 25 to 100 bodyguards. And we drag along there.
Yeah.
That we're going to do.
Yeah, we need,
and take over part of Maroon.
What I'm getting from this, as we wrap, though, is that an education process must start taking place
yes.
now.
The people need
I
to
mean,
learn.
Nobody knows down there.
No, they don't know.
Look at this. We have Colonel before. There's no cadet team, no coach team, no special district conservator, nothing down there to protect the people. Then what the colonels are doing over the years, why are they blaming Colonel Curry alone? The colonel before still didn't do anything. So we cannot just blame Colonel Curry if we say, boy, him not do nothing. Road still not fixed, water drain them to go in, people still want water, light still need internet. So still, you can't just blame him. Blame the colonel before, and the colonel before. So we need people to vote in down there that have visions and dreams for the people.
He made a very important point.
Yes.
The people need to learn their history as to who they are.
And they need history.
Because listen,
you
if they don't know their history, hold on, if they don't know their history, they can't defend you with anything.
Yes.
Okay? And you're now dealing with a bunch of ignorant people that has ignorant mentality and obscure and abstract behavior. So they need to know who they are. You'll have harmony as long as they know who they are. You have defense as long as you know who they are. But in an ignorant state like now, you and I can be a threat to them. You and I can tell them the right thing, and it looks like it's the worst thing we're saying to them.
I went to Maroon Town. I don't even see a security company on it to say something have been protected. It's too loose.
Well, that is the whole thing. You can't
so
protect
something
your people.
Need to be.
You can't provide for your people. You have the land. You're not farming it. You're not producing anything down there. See,
so something is missing.
Well, now we're in a change. We're in a reformation period right now because they don't know me and they don't know the laws of the United Nations, and the government is now hearing all of this. So we have to make a new approach, a new step as of now. And you make it clear now. We have to go down there now.
The articles that we just read have saying that the government of Jamaica cannot just go in and take up our indigenous people and lock them in their prison.
As long as they're indigenous?
As long as they're indigenous.
Now, this is why...
Can I ask you a question?
If you want to go down here to somebody that is not indigenous, I don't have the jurisdiction over that.
Yes, once they're not indigenous, then fine. Well, but can I ask you a question? Do you know of any one of the colonel that was indigenous? Colonel Williams, Colonel Curry, Colonel... Next one name? Rowe, Colonel... Do you know none of them that is indigenous?
Okay. Which one of them went to United Nations and get approved as certified?
I don't know none of them.
So all of them is in the same state of ignorance. All of them are in the same state of ignorance.
So none of the colonel that you know
none of them
have
don't.
never go to United Nations to endorse by United Nations to be a colonel.
Look at the tradition. One colonel is doing the same thing that the colonel was doing last year, what the past colonel was doing. Today, colonel is doing what this colonel was doing. So what? It's a trend coming down of ignorance. We're saying the changes is now that we have the knowledge to convey.
And they're saying that this last colonel go to Mr. Holness to be endorsed. Well, I'm saying that's what I'm hearing. I don't know if it's true.
That is too embarrassing to talk about.
The question I want to ask, in closure, I know we have to come back. We have a long litany of documents here. But how do I know if I am an indigenous person?
Yes, how can you be indigenous?
It is a DNA response. That's why when Yeshua the Messiah came, what he said to the disciples, said, go and call the tribe of Judah and every nation. Because once it's in your DNA, you're going to respond to the information.
Yes.
If it's not within your DNA, you will not respond to the information. The Most High is the creator of DNAs, right? So he wanted your DNA to respond to the words that comes forth.
So if you're born down there and grew up down there, that make you indigenous?
No. Wow. Indigenous have to do with bloodline, don't forget.
Good.
A stranger can't come in and be indigenous. They
I hear
marry,
Mr.
they marry
Holness,
into the
I
family
hear the
to
Honorable
become
Prime,
indigenous.
I hear the Honorable Prime Minister of Jamaica said something which is very important. Even if you're born in Jamaica, that don't make you a Jamaican.
That is correct.
Which is true.
That is true.
So even if you're born in
China,
Maroon
don't
Town,
make you a Chinese.
why? Because if you're born before independence, you're British. Very important that you know that.
Yes, it is.
So all the persons who were born before independence, they're not Jamaican.
All right,
they're
Chinese,
British.
All right, the Chinese race. Let's look at the Asians. You think they consider themselves Jamaican though they're born here?
No.
See that? So you can born in Jamaica, you're not a Jamaican. It has to do with your bloodline.
So it's the bloodline. We're coming from the Arawak.
That's right.
Yes.
We're indigenous bloodline. That is why it's, look here, we wouldn't have this meeting if it wasn't in your DNA.
No, no, would never.
Let me make it clear that the Jacksons that you read about and you hear about is from Clarendon. Many people may under the perception that Jackson came here as slaves. No. There was slavery in Jamaica in 1643, and the land was invaded by Charles William Jackson and 1,000 troops. And they had slavery going on in my indigenous hometown, which is Bellas Gate Content, for a number of years. This is how the name Jackson was implemented. If you check the name Jackson, it's older than the state.
Yes.
The state was set up in the 1800s. Jackson's from the 1600s.
You control many hills in Clarendon.
Yes. We have mountains in Clarendon.
Mountains that you control, your
Exactly.
government.
That come from generation to
And
generation.
what I'm seeing, it's only good for birds. That means any and anyone cannot just go up there.
No. No.
You have to be invited.
Exactly.
Because it's surrounded by power.
Exactly. The same people that lived there for millions of years are still there, which is my family.
And you're still living in Clarendon now?
Well, I'm in Christiana, but I do go over Clarendon because what I'm doing here is bringing the history to them because they really don't know the history that much either. So I am bringing the history to them and explain to them that the Jackson name that we have didn't come from Africa. It was an invasion that gave us that name. So we are older than the state. The alias name is older than the state. So if you think about it, how can you be a part of the state and be older than the state? You have to be here before the state.
I saw in the particulars that it's also signed by the United Nations. The company that formed it have said that we will have to also accept protection from the government of Jamaica. But we can also have our own security in the indigenous community.
So you're saying that we can accept protection
From
colonial?
yes, but we can also have our own security in Maroon.
Well, as an indigenous nation,
Yes.
we must have our own security. We are indigenous nation. We must have our fire station.
So our colonel
we must
needs
have
to know
our
that.
banks. We must have our it tells you in there institutions.
Institutions.
Institutions. So we are allowed to have our own institution, not the colonial institution
No.
now. We must have
But-
our own setting.
But if we need
as
help,
a
we
if
can get it
no,
from
we
the.
can call them
You
to
can
help
call them
us.
to help us.
Right. But they should not be there unless we call them. And we want to stipulate that.
When we return, shortly, we're going to talk to you a little bit about Kahneel.
I want to go 5 more minutes because this is interesting.
Very interesting.
Time. Okay.
But
Can we go 2 more minutes? Yes.
I think we've covered a lot of important
yes, I want to commend Prophet Rowe
Very important.
for bringing you the studios PGMI because what you share with us tonight, the world want to know, not just a Hong Kong or Jamaica. And
So you're
go ahead.
you're saying that Mr. Curry is far, far from where he should be. Very
But
far.
I think we know that.
Yes,
It's
we know.
nowhere close to reality.
Nowhere close to reality.
If he wants to be legit, he has to have this understanding. And his learning has to learn it. And it's up to whether he can learn or not.
Would you be willing to go down there, endorse Curry as the next colonel for the next 5 years, and share with him and create sort of educational program for the citizenry of that community?
I believe that
Well,
Maroon Town
I think I need to educate Corey about what is indigenous and what indigenous means and what it's all about. I would have to educate him with that. But in terms of where the kernel is concerned, that's a European initiative. So we can't use kernel in our consciousness. We must use what falls within the confine of our consciousness, which is Captain Kojo. Captain, so not
Captain Kojo, yes.
So what the kernel need to learn is about indigenous life and what is indigenous culture and what is an indigenous person and what they're entitled to as an indigenous person.
Are you
Yes,
and the prophet willing to go down? He's not born there, down there.
Oh, no.
Are you
No,
willing to
we-
go down?
I purchased 100 van bike and I bring some down there and I was told not to bring the rest because it's not time to bring it because of certain concerns of the people. Most of the people say, Prophet, don't spend the money down here yet because the concern is not good. So I kind of back off and just watch what's going on.
We need stability, and this is what we need. This is what is needed. We need that stability. And you have to look at the people that you're building
Yes.
for. You have to look at the state of consciousness because they will destroy the things that you're
They
building.
destroy things.
They have to be conscious of what you're doing.
But we go back down there, we bring hundreds of books and pencils, laptop, tablets, phones. We try to help, but we have to be cautious of what we're doing because most of the indigenous people that I know down there said, Prophet, most of the people should now get this. So back off a while.
That's where we
We
are.
are out of time. We want to thank the chief for coming here
Yes.
to share with us. You're going to come back again.
Oh, no, we have
I
to.
want to thank all our listeners and viewers
Thank you.
across the globe who shared with us tonight in this riveting conversation on
We'll be back.
a number of things.
And we will tell you a little bit more about Cyrus on the next occasion. And we want you to know that you cannot be a colonel unless you're endorsed by United Nations. Very important that you also know that. And indigenous people live in Maroon Town, so the government of Jamaica have to be invited to go there. That's what I'm hearing tonight. I didn't know that. Thank you very much. God bless you. My people in the world, in the diaspora, we love you. Salam.
Sunday Kingston, 51
Honor Road. Thank you.
Kingston,
Ptahanka, mighty man.
71 Avenue. Peace.
Bless you.
Be with us.
My respect
Peace.
all the time, all the time.
One person, brother. Yes, you bless you.